What's going on, guys? I'm back to make another Horizon Open video for you, showing off some revised tunes. All these cars you're going to be seeing today, I have made a Horizon Open video previously showcasing them for custom racing, and I've made some changes to all of them and made them even better. So not only are they going to be competitive in your regular exhibition campaign races, they're also going to be competitive and even more competitive than ever before in Horizon Open custom racing. I'm going to kind of go over some of the changes I made to the tunes and kind of what was going on in the specific race I'm showing off, and I'm also going to kind of explain how I think you can best use this car and what specific scenarios are going to be optimal for it. So let's start off with the first tune here. We're going to start off with the 2016 Ford GT number 66 GTLM Le Mans. I made a video showcasing this car not too long after it came out. It came out a couple months ago, I'd say. And the tune I made for it then, it was kind of mainly just to help launch. I had the anti-lag turbo system on it, and what I did to this one, I took that completely off. I didn't realize how much you were going to gain on the braking side of things if you take the anti-lag off. Sure, it's going to hurt your acceleration and your initial launch just a little bit, but you're going to save so much. Your braking distance is going to be so much shorter taking that off here, and optimally this thing is going to be used for circuit racing. It's probably going to be its best, but the race I'm showing here is actually the Reservorio Sprint, and it's not the fastest car in the world. As you can see, you get kind of left in the dust at the beginning here, but this thing just handles so well, and a lot of the times you're going to be able to make up so much ground. You're going to be able to go full throttle through a lot of these turns. A lot of people are going to be having to brake a lot, and they're going to be hitting the wall. They're going to be sliding all over the place, but this thing just maintains grip so well. I think it's probably the best handling S1 racer I've ever used in a Forza game, at least on for road racing. It's just very, very good. It's very, very fun to use, and again, it's going to mainly be the best, I'd say, for circuits, but it can definitely get the job done in sprint races as well. I remember for this specific Horizon Open little session I had here, I did like 2 or 3. I kind of joined in. I was on like the last race of an existing session. I ended up doing that one and like 2 more sets of 3, I believe, and I won every race with it. I only had like I think 1 circuit in there too, so it was mainly just sprint races. But this thing mopped the floor with everybody that I was going against. Granted, a lot of them were, some of them were higher level people around kind of around the level I am, but there are different cars that you will see a lot of people using. This thing was able to better them in just about every situation. Even if you fall behind though, like you're going to be able to make up so much ground with just how well this car handles, and the grip it has is just insane. So making that small change is getting rid of the anti-lag turbo system and just sticking with the regular twin turbo. I think I'd use the race one or whatever, but not the anti-lag. And it just, even though you're losing that initial launch and your acceleration is going to be down just a little bit, your braking performance is going to be so much better. It's like when you're off the throttle and braking, the anti-lag, when it's like activated, you hear all that backfire and stuff. I guess it just kind of keeps the car wound up a little bit, so it's harder to get it wound down, and hard to get it to brake efficiently. And taking that system out, it brakes a lot better than it did before. Like even the braking number doesn't even really change, or if it does, it doesn't change that much at least. But it definitely does feel like it's actually 9.0 in the braking category now, as before with the anti-lag system, it didn't feel like that at all. I think I was looking at the 0 to 100 braking distance, and it like went down by like 80 feet or so. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it definitely adds up throughout the course of a race, especially if you're trying to be late on the brakes and trying to, like on a very, very high speed braking section, you're going to be late on the brakes. This thing's definitely going to help you out, and you're definitely going to feel that difference in braking performance. Getting rid of the anti-lag system, definitely taking advantage of that. So this is the first car here. I think you will enjoy it if you use it for Horizon Open or for just the regular campaign races, especially in circuits. So hopefully you guys give this new tune a go. The tune for it, I forgot to show it on screen, so I'll show it on screen right now. It is called Trackstar V2. I'll also show all these tunes down in the description as well, in case you don't see it earlier on in the video. But Trackstar V2 is the tune I'm showing off here, and also show the share code real quick. Again, very, very good car to use. These changes I made for it definitely helped. and it's just definitely a well-rounded S1 car that is just very, very grip dominated. It's not the fastest car in the world, but it handles so well, and it's very easy to drive. So that's the first car here. We're going to move on to the next one now. Next vehicle I'm showing off is the 1994 Ford Supervan 3. I recommend this car for several instances throughout the Forza Horizon series, and it's very good road racer, and in this game it's very good dirt racer. I still think it's the best S1 dirt racing vehicle in this game. I made a Horizon Open video for it years ago, kind of showing it off, and I've made changes to it that made this thing a lot better. Even from the last revision I made earlier this year, I've made some more changes to it to kind of make it a little bit more easier to control. Because before it's very hectic. It's a very hectic vehicle. It's just so fast, and their off-road tires definitely help on dirt, but it's a handful to control, which is usually not really my style. I usually like to use cars that require more finesse, and it's kind of easier to drive. But this one's really not that, well, at least in the past, it wasn't really that easy to drive. You definitely have to respect it, especially if you want to keep it off the walls, not get those wall penalties in Horizon Open. But I've made changes to it to make it handle even better. The tune for it I'm showing off in this video right now is called Dirt Racing V4. I'll also show the share code for it, and again, it'll also be down in the description. But I just kind of made some changes to the suspension and the differential and the anti-roll bars to kind of just make it a little bit more manageable for the everyday player. And I didn't really lose that much performance out of it from a power standpoint or anything like that. But overall, I definitely made it more manageable and easier to use, and it's still fast as can be. When you look at on the screenshot, if you saw it, it's 763 horsepower out of a 2,200 pound vehicle. That's pretty good. So for S1 dirt racing, I still think this is the car to beat. There are a few up there that can compete with it, but I think overall this is the best one, and it's definitely my favorite S1 dirt racing car to use from a competitive standpoint. If you use it for Horizon Open custom racing, get used to how it performs and keep it off of the wall, you're probably going to win most of the time, or at the very least be in contention. So this is the next one here. Hopefully you guys can give this new tune a go. Let me know down in the comments how it fared for you. Everything gets better than the last revision I made for it. I don't know what else to say other than the car is just an absolute beast. We will go on to the next one here. The next one is for probably my favorite car in the Forza Horizon series, the 1964 Ford GT40 Mark I. The tune I made for it, I'll show it on screen right now. It is called Dirt Champ V2. I'll also show the share code. Again, there's very minimal changes, kind of similar to the ones I made for the Supervan. It's kind of more of a suspension type deal, and the anti-roll bars, differential, and a few different tweaks here and there. But overall, I made this thing a little bit better. I made a Horizon Open video for it in the past, showing it off, how it was very good then. I kind of freed it up a little bit. It was a little bit on the tight side, I guess, but from a handling standpoint, but I kind of freed it up a little bit, made it a little looser. It's a little bit, it kind of takes, it's probably a little bit harder to control now in some parts of the different tracks and stuff like that. But overall, I think with the added kind of freeness to just how it behaves in general, it's definitely going to be faster from a sense like that. You can kind of get around some certain corners a lot easier now, and not really have to rely on using e-brake as much as you would have before. You can kind of keep it wide open through some of the swooping pavement turns on like some of the dirt scramble races you will encounter. And again, the worst thing about this car is going to be the takeoff, because I like to use the stock transmissions in this game. Usually like the fewer gears, I think the better. So the stock transmission, 6-speed, the initial launch is not going to be great, but it handles so well, and once it actually gets up and going, it's very good. And it's gonna be one of the better handling 800 dirt racing cars you're gonna see. The Alfa Romeo TZ2, the Alfa Giulia is gonna be kind of like the meta car, I guess, for 800 dirt racing. This thing is definitely, I think it's on par with it in just about any kind of dirt race. I'll actually show a clip right here. I'll show you what happens when you actually race a TZ2, and kind of, I'll just let the clip roll here. You can kind of see what happens. A TZ2 guy can, they can get out to a blazing start, and because they're a lot faster and stuff like that. But you see what happens here when I try to pass them. I'll just play the clip right now. Yeah, see, that's what happens when you race Alfa Romeo TZ2 on Horizon Open Custom Racing. People don't want to race against this thing. They can say that's the best car. I disagree. I think it's the Ford GT40, and I think the changes made to it are definitely good. And I think it's on par. I think it's overall it's the best 800 dirt racing car in the game, even using the stock engine, which I think is best suited for sure. You can make different changes to it, throw different engines in it, I'm sure, and kind of put your own flavor on it if you want to build a tune from scratch. But I think overall this is a very good dirt racing car. I think you will enjoy using it if you haven't already used my previous tune for it. This one is better, and you'll enjoy using it even against the meta cars. I called this car the Meta Breaker, I believe, in my first video with it, and I think it's even better now. So hopefully you guys can give this a go. Let me know how it works out for you. I'm sure you will enjoy it. We're going to go on to the final car here I'm going to show off. To close things out here, I'm going to show a new tune off for the 1975 Ford Bronco. It's one of my favorite vehicles in this game by far. It's a very good, versatile car. The tune I made for it, I'll show it on screen right now. It's called Dirt Phenom. I'll also show the share code. Now, quite a while ago, I have made a Horizon Open video touting this as potentially the best cross-country racer in the B700 category. I think the way the game's played out and how all the different upgrade parts and stuff that have come out, I think it's been overtaken. I do think overall probably the Ford F450 and the Scout 800A are probably the two best for cross-country racing. This thing is right there with it. It's not a slouch by any means. It's definitely no slouch. It's a very good car. I do think for cross-country circuits, this thing definitely shines. It can better those two. But as far as just like wide open cross-country, like point-to-point races where high speed is going to be a factor, this thing does lag behind those two. So I was originally going to make a universal tune where this thing is going to be very good for cross-country and dirt racing. However, the way I would have had to have it geared to not, hit the rev limiter on any of the high-speed cross-country races, it would have just been a hindrance to the acceleration, I guess, more or less on the like the dirt scrambles and that sort of thing. So what I decided to do is just make a dirt racing tune, and the way I have it geared, it's going to be very good for dirt scrambles, and it's probably never going to hit the rev limiter on any of the regular dirt trail races, and it's still going to be very good for cross-country circuits as well. I would not really recommend this for this like cross-country point-to-point races in Horizon Open Custom Racing, but if you're doing like campaign races, it's probably going to be fine. But overall, dirt racing, I think this is the #1 vehicle for B700. It's just my opinion. You can have your own different opinion here. The video I've been showing here is me racing one of the Ford F450s, and it's it just shows how it fares, how it stacks up. I was able to win the race. I didn't have the fastest lap times, however, this was like the very first time I've used this vehicle on this specific dirt scramble course here, so I was kind of learning as I went here, but I was kind of forced the opposition to overdrive a little bit, and I was able to capitalize and stay out front. But I think if you get more practice and get used to everything, this thing's definitely going to be just a dirt racing phenom, like the tuning name kind of suggests there. It's just very, very good. I think it can definitely compete with the F450 and the Scout 800A, and it can better them on most occasions, at least in my opinion. If you're in the right set of hands, it's very good. Now, what makes this different from my previous Ford Bronco tunes, aside from the gearing thing, number two, the biggest thing is I've always kind of had some sort of chassis reinforcement. Usually it's like the first step in the roll cage type thing, because this thing has a propensity to roll over under, like, if you're going downhill, uphill, trying to make like a high-speed turn or like a sudden turn. It does have it is kind of easy to roll the thing over. So what I decided to do is when they added the Rally Adventure expansion, they added you can add the higher profile tires. You can kind of mess with the tire profile, and I decided to utilize that. I have the fattest sidewall tires you can put on this thing on here, and it definitely helps keep the car planted on the ground. It makes it a lot harder to roll over. So I was able to do that and get rid of the chassis reinforcement, so I saved quite a bit of weight there. And honestly, I didn't really feel any like negative effects having the wide wall tires on here, I couldn't really tell much of a difference between those and the regular ones. I will say it does feel a little bit more secure and a little bit more stable. That's probably what kind of helps it keeps it upright, not wanting to flip over. But I decided to go with that, make that change there. And I know a lot of people prefer this vehicle with the top on. I've always liked it with like the top off, the open bed. I think it just feels more comfortable for me. It says the handling goes down a little bit. It kind of depends on what you're used to, but you're definitely gonna, I think, gain some speed and acceleration having the open top setup as opposed to having the traditional default setup with the top on it. So I still kept it with the open top and the truck bed or whatever you want to call it. And I think it's the most efficient way to do it. It just feels right. Now, something about this vehicle is just easy to control. When you're on dirt, there's like probably never going to be any like understeer situations ever. It's just it's a very loose handling vehicle. The only time it can get a little tight on you is if you're on like concrete trying to make a high-speed braking turn or something like that, where you have to come to you're going at a high speed and have to come to like a sudden stop and make a sharp turn. It can kind of get a little tight. But overall, it just glides on the dirt very well, and the stock suspension performs very good, among the best, I think, for stock suspensions in this game for like an off-road type, dirt racing type platform. It definitely gets the job done. I think it is very good. I definitely think I've made improvements and made this thing better than it was in previous tunes. If I'll let you guys be the judge of that, I definitely encourage you to give this thing a go as well and see what you think. It's going to be something that you're not going to really run into, so people are going to be thinking you're kind of silly using this for B700 dirt racing and Horizon Open Custom Racing, but you're going to show them that, hey, they maybe need to ditch what they think is the meta and kind of go with something like this and give it a go and have a little bit more fun and stand out a little bit. That's kind of what I wanted to go with here. It's one of my favorite vehicles in real life, and I knew it had potential based on my older tunes and older videos showcasing it. I knew it could get better, and I think that turning it into just a full-fledged dirt racer exclusively is definitely the way to go for this vehicle. I think I got the most out of it that I probably could with the stock engine and stock suspension and that sort of thing, kind of keeping it in my wheelhouse, my kind of comfort level. That's going to be all for this video. Thanks again for the support on these videos. They take quite a bit of time to make here. Hopefully you guys give all these tunes that I've showcased here a go and compare them to the previous versions of it, and let me know down in the comments how you think they compared, if you have used the old ones and used these new ones here, or if you're just watching this video for the first time and haven't used these tunes before, let me know how these work for you. And if you have any success in Horizon Open Custom Racing with these, I'd love to know about that as well. Leave a like on this video if it helped you out. Subscribe for more Forza Horizon 5 videos, and I'll see you in whatever video is next.